character's name?
What's
Oh,
that?
there it is.
Oh,
Yeah, it's at the top, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
I was like,
Check yourself before you wreck yourself.
which character is mine? Oh, this one.
Yeah, dwarf, beard, barbarian.
Yeah, red. Little gray. Yep.
Gets a little bit angry at spelling errors.
There was a J missing. I'm telling you.
Yeah, I know. All right. Last call check. Everyone ready?
Yeah.
Si, senor.
Last call.
Well, you don't have to go home, but you have to stay here.
Oh, God. I want bourbon. I want scotch. I want beer.
Now I have to sing the rest of the song.
I don't think we have the rights to that, guys.
And I think singing is generous for George Thorogood.
Yeah. Actually, yeah, I agree with that.
Staying with breathiness. Shatner pre-Shatner.
Rocket Man.
All right, kids, we ready to get this game started?
Mm-hmm.
Let's rock and or roll.
All right, I'm going to give countdowns, and Tribby, you can start streaming, and you can go ahead and start with... Oh, well, never mind then. Cool. We're not like those channels that start with 5 minutes of fucking wait time then. We just start unprofessionally.
Uh-huh.
So, great. All right. You want to give recap notes?
I do. Here, let me pull up my thing. Because I have window capture. Sorry, I am very new to this. If anybody is professionally watching this, you could be elsewhere. All right. Hello, and welcome to episode 0. I made an imaginary friend today. Our recap for today is what we did in our last game and getting started in Steel Tranquility campaign. So, we were all at the paper mill trying to get some flyers printed up when Lester and a dwarf was arguing with the counterman. He was like, blah, 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 blah. And the counterman was like, I don't care if I misspelled it. You have to, pay me more money. So I had the great idea of, how about I'll cast some magic and charm person to defuse the situation? And then we were all friends. So I decided to go with my new friends to our new spot. We have a brand new human barbarian friend, or human fighter friend, named Mr. Garret Vale. He has a face and eyes, and he's bald. And he also has a bow and swords. This is going to be awful. I did not write a script for this, guys. And then we had Lesterin, the dwarf from the mountains of Barb. He has an axe and a hammer, and he was an ex-soldier. Then we had Lux Criswell. He was, an impressive, sharply dressed person, and that's saying a lot. And finally, we had the winged tiefling bard Shriek. He's haughty and red-skinned and thinks that he's sexy.
I love that face so much.
Well, we went to the bar and we had some nice juice, and I helped flavor everyone's drinks. And while we were there, a huge parade started with all the flags, and everybody from every guild was pouring into the streets for Flag Week, a time when adventurers pledge themselves to different guilds and go off on adventures. And through it all, we got to a raffle, and Mr. Gary won a catamaran. So now here we are in episode 1. It's catamaran, not catamaran. Blech.
Oh man, it's catamaran. All right, everyone, let's get started. So, after the events of the last game, Shriek and Locks quickly check in with you both. Locks coming up and giving finger guns to everyone before going, hey, before I go off on any adventures, I gotta check in with my little attendant at the store. Can't just leave him alone and run off into the distance yet. I'll be back soon. I'll meet you guys up. Give me a little time. I'll be back. Takes off.
Okay, bye, mister.
Shriek comes up flying again because Shriek tries to resist touching the ground at all times, flapping his wings in what he thinks is a majestic manner. That is relatively impressive for what he's doing. And says in that breathy, hottish voice, "Hey, I need to see if those posters of me are done yet. I'll be with Locks after that to get new shoes. We'll meet up here afterwards. Okay?"
Okay.
Great. He gets out his guitar and strums a couple of notes and flies away. And let me roll his performance check. It was okay. The performance was decent. It sounds good. So, with a gentle guitar string, yep, there we go. Strum of his guitar strings, he flies away, following after Locke. That's it. We start.
So there was a balloon that was flying by? Or it was like a big hot air balloon. And the guild wants us to go catch it. Right, Les?
Yes, it's that way. And I'm gesturing in the direction of the balloon.
Boy, too bad the guy with wings left. Can anybody fly? Can anybody use magic like I can? Should we shoot it down?
I'm not really one for magic. Where are we going? That way?
I guess I could look around. Should I do a
Well, I'll
perception?
pull up my little map and be like, well, I need to go to the quarry.
Oh, is that
Is it near there?
I don't know.
Okay.
God, do we remember where it was?
Yes, you do remember that the leader of the Storm Chasers pointed towards the waterfalls overflowing from the city, the Avila waterfalls. And
Okay.
it's these beautiful onrushing waterfalls that I will actually show you guys a picture of. Because for once, Bob was a good DM and got pics.
And Gary needs to go to the quarry?
So, to recap a little few out-of-game notes from last game.
Oh, cool.
Locks needs to go to the quarry. Gary needs to go near the quarry.
Yes.
Is it Firbolg?
So, you know,
I don't go
actually
chasing waterfalls, though.
Are the quarries those little hilly bits over there on the bottom left?
So, this is actually just a map of the waterfalls because I don't have the island map updated yet. This has been a crazy week. So in the meantime, this was just to give you guys an impression of the size of the waterfalls and the trail leading up to it. So in essence, the Avila waterfalls are absolutely huge. It is genuine fresh water that flows from the mountain that is almost always covered by clouds from this island. And it mixes with the seawater, forming this beautiful, weird hue of a bay. It's very difficult for any creatures to live in, but it's wonderfully sandy. And you can tell that most of the fanciest homes in Alara Samal are actually built there. But there is indeed a trail that you can even see from here that goes into switchbacks up the side of the mountain.
Oh, yay. So the quarry is on the way, or afterwards?
The quarry would be afterwards. The quarry is elsewhere. The quarry is actually genuinely outside of town.
On.
Yeah, that is a couple hours outside of town, whereas this is probably within reach by about 30 to 45 minutes.
Okay. So, do we want to go to the quarry first and take the balloon with us? Go get the balloon, bring it back to town, and then go back to the quarry? Or what do you guys want to do?
I imagine the balloon is kind of big, it's probably best to bring it back. I don't know if I want to carry this all over the place.
We can inflate it. So it'll
Can
be
we?
like a gigantic fair
I thought we were
balloon.
chasing one that had slipped away from the assistant.
It was inflated.
It
The
wasn't.
assistant
hot air balloon.
floated away. It deflated at the top of the waterfall.
Oh, okay, it's stationary. Sorry, I didn't catch that part.
And the guild representative said that we should be able to reinflate it and, like a carnival balloon, drag it back to town with us.
Okay. Okay, well, if it's stationary, we could do Gary's thing first.
That's
No, if we go to the quarry anyway, that means I can help with your bit and you can help with my bit. Everything is easy. Let's take care of this thing, the balloon first. It is closer.
works for me.
Alrighty.
Oh my goodness! In the background, Georgia is snoring, and I was, "What is that?" Sorry. So this is still late morning. This is about 11 to 11:30 because the guild parade happened at about 9 a.m. and they set up these tents with fun activities and all the multicolors of the canopies and the people dressed here. There's still some Moko Jumbies walking around, interacting with people and taking money after performing and dancing. It's a fun group gathering event. And meanwhile, the guild individual who was representing the storm chasers beneath their tent alone kind of like peeks his head out to see where Lesterin as well as Lolly had wandered off to. He's got that moment of curiosity about, like, are they doing it? They said they were going to do it.
We'll be right back, I'm sorry.
Oh, no worries. Remember, 25 gold for Zarble and 100 gold if you can actually get that balloon back intact. Thank you.
Whoa, 100 gold, y'all. That's like a lot of money.
It is pretty good money.
Alright, let's go do Gary's thing.
I thought we were going for the balloon.
Oh, we're going for the balloon. Never mind. To the balloon. Do, 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 do. And she sort of,
Seems the
Lolly
most
sort of
straightforward.
kangaroo hops off.
Can't help but smile. This is just great. I'll follow her.
Whee!
All right. So with that, make me a perception check if you don't mind, Lolly.
Okay.
You're leading this group?
8 plus 4, so 12.
Okay, that's decent enough. It's a giant waterfall,
Ooh.
and the trail beside it is not too hard to find. That said, you don't take the quickest route to get there because everything's a distraction. And, you know, bright colors everywhere.
Look at
At
the
one point
trees
while
in the
walking through
background.
what is clearly the nicer district of town, because the houses get a little bigger and a little bigger and a little bigger, you wind up seeing a couple of mages running around and casting prestidigitation in a competition to see who can use it more dramatically from each other. And you hear an announcer going, "On the left, well, let's see what they're casting today. It looks like that one's using prestidigitation to change the ground, and the other one has changed his opponent's face."
I use prestidigitation to change my spots different colors.
And look at that, we have audience participation! Hello, audience members!
Oh, I'm so getting swept up in this. Yes! Yes! I could do this! And then I change his teeth to taste like cupcakes.
Whose teeth?
The announcers.
Teeth
have a flavor now.
There is a brief pause, and the 12 to 15 people that are watching this, because even though it's a magic show, it's not quite what people had hoped for. You can tell there was clearly more seats arranged in this garden-like area, and it's supposed to be this big venue for a big competition, but this is not impressive. And there's this brief pause that falls over about the 15 people that are watching. And it's mostly humans in the crowd, very dark-skinned people that have been living here on the island. They look back and forth, and you get good views of their faces. And you can tell that most of these people are people that live in this area of town, because they look at you like you don't belong. But they also look genuinely interested in the fact that teeth can have a taste. And on their last glimpse back, the announcer starts licking his teeth with this. Oh my God! They taste like that! She's done it! Their teeth taste like cupcakes!
Woohoo!
And all the crowd gives you this little clap.
And then I use prestidigitation to make it sound like it's just tumultuous applause. Woo! Lolly, you're
Yeah.
amazing!
That is a big use of prestidigitation, and that is normally minor illusion. That said, I will allow it to add to what the crowd is doing.
Uh-huh.
Because the crowd genuinely is clapping. They're a little impressed. And again, the announcer sounds a little impressed. So let's see what happens with roll dice roll. Hey, Lolly, high or low?
Hi.
Well, you nailed that. A few members of the crowd cheer for you, and then you see one of them close to the edge, this woman dressed in these very nice purple robes that have hints of lavender, deep dark royal blues, and just a little embroidery of this crimson orange like sunset color. And she waves towards you, giving you this, come here. And you can tell that her hair is this thick braided hair that is just elegantly folded. She is clearly one of the people in a better position of this town. And in fact, Garret, would you roll me a history check?
Absolutely. 10.
Oh, that's good enough. I will send you a message because I have a sir. But Lolly, she signals to you. Do you approach her?
Absolutely. She is wearing purple, and only good people wear purple.
Okay. So as you get closer and closer, she's just, that was so brilliant. Making a man's stuff taste like cupcake. That is so cute. What are you? Is this a costume?
Nope. I have a costume. I dress up like a clown.
Oh my goodness.
But, thank you. Would you like your teeth to taste like cupcakes for a minute?
No, thank you.
Okay.
I must pass on this week. But I am still so impressed by what you have done here. That is an impressive youth.
Aw, thanks. And my spots change into, like, green and blue, and I get all shy.
How are you enjoying the city? Are you enjoying the day?
I am.
Oh, thank you. Well, should you need anything, and she hands you this little tiny envelope that is silver and has this neat stamp on it with an M
Whoa. What's the double?
in blue lacquer. Winner, that is you. Have a good day.
Thank you. And I hug her.
As you go to hug her, like two people that are sitting beside her start to turn. And even with your just passive perception, you can kind of tell that those might be bodyguards. But she gives just a gentle hand and goes in for the hug. And she's like, oh my God, this is so comfortable. This is unbelievable.
Thank you.
That's so nice.
I like her a lot. Oh, we were going to go stop a balloon. Or get a balloon.
Well, good luck. Hopefully you have fun with the guild. That is what the day is for. Celebrate and enjoy our city.
Thank you, Purple Lady. Are we ready to go, guys?
Yeah, let's go.
So, as you kangaroo bounce along, you reach the end of the stone trail and come to where the dirt path begins. Now, from here, the waterfall is roaring. It is quite loud. So on sound-based perception checks, you guys will be taking a -2 modifier. So if I call for you to listen, or if you're like, hey, can I hear this? That is at a -2 modifier because of the sound of the waterfall. And you can tell that is a ton of water that is falling right now. At the beginning of the dirt path, you see that it starts to wind up gently, but then as you look up the mountain, it gets quite rigid quite quick. This will be what we like to call a skill challenge. I would like the three of you to roll survival checks for your little hike that you're going to take.
Why can't we just float up there? 21.
11.
12.
Please just post it in chat. That way we have them.
Ochre.
Shit.
Okay. Well, Lolly, being the creature of sugar that you are, you lead the pack, and that is actually 3 successes, first part, which means that you guys don't have to stop and take a rest. You're not feeling sweaty. The temperature is getting hotter as it's now. It is approximately 91 degrees in that sweaty island humidity where you can feel it, but by God, you're doing just fine so far, and the climb is going well. You have gotten to the switchbacks by this point, and it is time for another survival check for the climb.
Oh, success.
Not flat.
All right, this time everyone picks up, and these crossbacks are much more of an intensive because it just keeps getting steeper mountain. That said, everyone does very well with this, and in fact, what would normally be approximately a 45-minute hike towards the top is cut down to a mere as you reach up and up. You are a little bit tired, definitely sweating, but all of you are fine. It is, and you can tell that every tree that grows here looks like just, it has moss growing off it, there's moss growing on rocks, it's hot and humid. And now that the sun's almost to its peak, it is just at that intensity where it is definitely getting into the hot climate where you're going like, okay, I'm feeling it now. That said, I would like, actually, Lolly, you led the charge on this, so I would make a perception check. Because you rolled well twice, but you have advantage on the perception check.
Ooh, thank you. All right. Oh, that's good that I had advantage. 13.
Okay, so with the 13, you're seeing the top of the area, and you swear you see this quick flap of wing that goes, and then you hear this shout of like, "Get away!"
Wait, what? I'm seeing wings? Ah! Everybody,
Yeah.
duck down! What is it?
So this is approximately 60 feet from you, and that said, we are not going to use a battle map this in Theater of the Mind. The trail is 15 feet wide towards the top.
And there like, you said there are a lot of trees and some coverage, but is that up on the mountain as well?
A lot of trees and some coverage, but it appears to be top of ridge, this is more of a hill than a mountain, still large enough to where the waterfall falling approximately 100 feet. So,
Okay.
thus, you've done this really difficult climb really quick.
Yeah. Kangaroo power, yo.
Mm-hmm.
Can I do? I guess that would be stealth, right? To try and duck down behind some rocks and stuff and see what's going on.
Yeah, you can do some stealth.
I have Firbolg magic. I think I can just go invisible.
Once per day.
Let me see. Hidden step. As a bonus action, turn invisible until the start of your next turn. Oh, only 6 seconds. Yeah, no, I'm not going to do that then. I am just going to do the stealth.
Okay.
18 total.
Okay. All right, so Lolly sees this flap of white wings, and as she sees it and moves towards it, both of you, with your passive perception, even despite that waterfall, which sounds a bit like that. Sounds like a fan, but you know.
Mikey, getting kind of...
Somebody's
Sorry.
breathy.
Yeah, I moved to the fan. Sorry, I'll turn it off.
So, that said, the wings that Lolly pointed towards make you look up and listen, and with your passive perceptions, you can both hear this like, get away! And then you see Lolly duck behind a rock.
Is it somebody...
I'm falling asleep.
Can I see what they look like, or can I kind of like
With the 13, no. You again, you see these quick little flaps of white wings going and darting in between trees, and the scream. Oh, well, that changes things. So, with an 8. So, for future's sake, if you shout a roll, I will accept that roll. But in the meantime, for this one, with an 18, yes, you can tell that there is some creature that is way too big to be one of those little white flappy daddy things, but is obviously not very big because the voice box is a little bit high pitched and it resonates out. Very similar to Tiefling, who you met earlier.
Okay. I'm going to kind of tummy crawl up and, hey, mister, get down.
So, you're tummy crawling 60 feet. That will be approximately 12 seconds. My other two, what are you doing?
But she said get down, so I'm going to get down.
I'm going to crouch down because I'm already pretty short.
All right. I will accept stealth check for both of you.
Math. 21.
16.
Okay. All right. So, you see more of those white flaps darting in and out of the trees as you grow closer and closer. It takes approximately 12 seconds to do this because it's not climbing, it's just crawling along the ground commando style, which looks very funky for a 9-foot kangaroo to do. But together, you do make it up within 12 seconds, and what had been a get away, now is a scream in pain as a bite lands down and you can hear the sound of the teeth clenching into flesh, and that scream that lets off is coming from the trees. You see Lolly, as you're leading this group, this small petite gnome with yellow hair tied in this neat bun, and they threw an arm up with this weird contraption in front of them to try to block the scourge, and the scourge just clamps into the arm and hit a vein because it's awful. They look like they are about to pass out.
Okay.
So, with that, I will accept initiative from everyone. The sturges will be considered surprised as you snuck up on them.
Okay, not great. I rolled a 5.
I got 14.
I got an 18.
Okay.
For the sake of the thing.
Gotcha. No worries. So, all right. Lestrin, you see at least 3 of the weird almost bat-like white winged creatures with these bird heads that have these thin little bills on them that are ducking down and attempting to bite at the gnome. And only one hit, but dear Lord, did it hit. And that gnome looks like they are losing blood. There are 3 little flappers surrounding the gnome, and the gnome is within 30 feet.
Okay, well then I am going to attack with my javelin one of the flappers.
Okay. All right, go ahead and roll attack. Your attack is rolled at advantage as they are surprised.
With what dice?
It is D20 plus your strength modifier and proficiency modifier to hit.
Got
So
it.
it should actually stay on your character sheet.
I think it does. I just didn't see it. 15.
15 hits. Go ahead and roll damage, please.
6. 4. That's 9.
Okay. Well, with 9 points of damage, the javelin pierces straight through the heart of the creature, which, by the way, the javelin is the size of the creature's torso, so that creature is gone. It smacks into the tree. The javelin is pinned there perfectly. That said, next up, we have the sturgeon. Hello, sturges. 2 sturges attack with advantage. Let's see what happens. 1 hit. And 1 crit. Wow. Well, I have never rolled max damage on a crit before, but so the 2 sturges fly in. The first one bites into Zarbel, and you see her just shake her body a little bit, and then the second one flies in and just accidentally pierces straight through her chest. And her eyes roll back into her head, and she falls back, and the 2 sturges pull off just in time when she collapses to the ground. That said, it is now Garret's turn.
They're within 30 feet?
They are within 30 feet.
Now, just so for clarity, when I was stealthing earlier, did you consider me like crouching or doing a belly crawl? Like
I considered you crouching. The only person who said they were crawling was the 9-foot tall one. The rest of you don't have to by a crawl.
Then I'm going to draw both of my short swords and interpose myself between the wounded gnome and the rest of them and make an attack.
Okay. Go ahead and roll.
I'll attack the one that made the critical hit, the one that did the chest punch.
All right.
Ooh, math. 22.
That is a hit. Go ahead and roll damage.
Oh, that's 9.
Okay. Yeah. Same as the javelin, which means you flip your sword and effortlessly cut the head off the sturge without tipping a wing or anything. It just falls and flaps to the ground. The body still moves a little bit like a chicken head cut off.
Excellent.
Anything
Well, I'm going
else?
to use my bonus action to slash at the other one if I can.
Yes, you may. Take an attack.
Natural 20.
All right. You do not need to roll damage with a natural 20. They have HP. How do you want to do this with the last one?
The same as the last one. Just decapitate it.
Okay. Yeah, again, with your offhand, you spin the blade around, and the head goes flying off one way, the body just drops.
Oh, wow.
I will clean my swords on whatever's handy and put them back in the sheaths and immediately try to stabilize the gnome.
Yeah, is she
Okay.
alive or is she, like, dead?
I get to roll her first death saving throw.
Oh, no.
See.
Well, would this be my turn or?
Not quite yet. She was first in initiative order. So, because Mikey used his bonus action as well, she has failed her first death saving throw.
Oh no!
Garret, as her body just the blood is leaking. Unfortunately, it's getting worse because it's not coagulating. Now, Lolly.
Yes. I run up to her, spending half my movement. How far out is she? You said I got
30
to
feet.
30 feet. Yeah. Spend half my movement to get up, but I will sort of pause in front of her as far as I can get and start channeling some divine light into me, and my fur starts glowing and sticking out on end, and I cast healing light on her,
Okay.
and she'll
Go ahead
regain
and roll.
1 HP.
Wow. It's enough.
1.
She,
I mean, it gets her up, right?
right, no, those wounds suddenly seal and she... I'm not dead.
You're not dead!
You are
I'm
not
not
dead.
dead.
It was close, though.
It was.
Are you well?
I will be. And she reaches into her satchel and pulls out this liquidy item in both hands, pulls the cap off. Oh, that's going to be better. Oh, that's a little better. And she gets up, dusts herself off, and you can now see that she's wearing this, what appears to be almost, it is definitely a duster in shape, as it's a coat that holds many tools and trinkets, but it is not made from leather, instead opting for what looks like a slightly heavier cloth, because clearly with these island temperatures, wearing leathers all the time is not everyone's cup of tea. And
It smells.
yeah, it does. It definitely has an odor. That said, as she's dusting herself off, you can clearly see Garret, since you're the closest one. She has a little lapel pin with that hurricane symbol etched in silver on it. So, how'd you find me?
We came to find the balloon. And you?
Sorry, we were late.
Oh, no, I am alive because you got here and so,
I used
came to find it.
prestidigitation to clean off some of her blood.
Oh, thank you. Oh, happy. Do you know how expensive it was to make this? And these boots! Fantasy Boot Barn charges an arm and a leg.
Oh no, they have the best prices in town. Locke told me so.
Locke says a lot of things.
Stares at you for a second and is like, I don't know.
Lolly, do you understand the concept of a salesman?
Yeah, they sell things. Like across the water and...
At least she's not a used wagon salesman.
Oh. Well.
We're gonna get into that later.
Okay.
So,
Yes, another time.
yeah, so, about that balloon.
Yes. Where is it?
I imagine Grem offered you a good amount of money to bring it back, right?
Yeah.
So, she kind of like kicks the sand really quick. I don't have money to offer you, but would you be willing to bring it back?
Yeah.
So, hear me out. That is an advanced storm detection. And what it's supposed to do is give us a better chance to notice when the air temperatures up high change, and effectively when a storm is coming. Because, and she looks at the three of you and she's like, hey, I don't know how close you've ever gotten to one of these storms, but let me tell you from the perspective of someone who's been airborne during one, they're not just a storm. there's magic in them. And that's why the Kais of each town are having such a hard time judging when the storms come. But even though they're magic, they still have the same effect on the atmosphere that a normal storm would. So I built tools and utilities to help measure for those. I brought it to this island, and then Grem just sits there and goes, "Oh, we're going to use this to sell Noble's balloon tour." It doesn't work like that. It shouldn't work like that. There's a bigger reason. I can't pay you money to return it, and I'm sorry. But I can offer a couple of... For one thing, I'm an artificer. I help tinker and build stuff. And if you need something, like, say, if you needed a weather measuring device for a boat, or if you needed some magical rocks that you can once a day talk to each other with, I can make those things for you at cost as a thank you. The other thing I would offer is that I'm actually higher up with the Storm Chasers than Grem. I came from Gilderstrand, the city of Avila, and I am, well, I mean, the weather balloon is my design too, so obviously, and she points at the silver pin, I'm a bit higher up the totem pole than him normally, but you can't overstep a guild master in their own town. So I was going to write a strong city, and to my guild mates, I could include the fact that you were very helpful with it and get you, that friendship bonus of guild.
But it's not. Wait, it's your balloon?
Well, it's the guild's balloon, technically. I did help build it.
But you're trying to take it, and we're supposed to bring it back to its owner.
Yeah, and I'm... again, I understand he offered you money. I get it. But I'm telling you that in the air, that balloon, if it's just used for noble tours, breaks down, then I got to get new parts to repair it. Where it belongs is in the air, measuring weather so that we have more accurate data for storms. It's an important tool towards keeping people alive. And these guys are using it for tours because they live in a really nice port city.
Oh.
Your explanation makes complete sense to me. I come from Alara Samora.
It made sense to me first.
Oh. Well, okay, Lolly. I appreciate that.
We're smart.
And we don't have any of the balloons since we're in the mainland of the island. But I understand where you're coming from. Gross misuse of equipment is a serious problem.
Yeah. Okay, you get me. So, question. Would you be okay with helping me get the balloon? And I'll reinflate it. But there was a problem. There's a couple of really nasty boars up there. And I couldn't get close to it without them getting territorial. So, if you could chase them off or do the thing you urgent, I would be eternally grateful, and I will get the balloon reinflated when you do that, and, beyond that, try to make your lives easier.
Okay.
Lolly?
Yeah.
Gary, what do you think?
Seems fair to me. Knowledge is more important, I think, than the entertainment of the rich and spoiled.
These tools can also benefit us quite heavily. Being able to talk to each other at a distance would be a huge benefit.
Yes, and we have to do some things to make that boat seaworthy.
And also, just to let you know, I will tell Grem that you did everything you can. Cover. I'm going to tell him that you helped me undermine him, okay?
I didn't catch all of that, I'm sorry.
Oh, she leans in and she's like, and I will tell Grem that you tried to help me recover. we weren't able to recover it properly. That way, it's no skin off your teeth. Maybe he'll even give you some tempted free, because definitely going to give you money.
You need to take a pause, Bob. I think the batteries on those headphones are dying.
Uh-oh. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Give me 1 second.
Let's...
Actually, this is probably a good pause moment anyways, so we will take a 5-minute break. Or actually 10-minute break. All right.
Okay.
Okay.
Here. You should check your headphones, and if they don't work, then you can use mine, and I'll switch over to my phone.
It might be, you still have me. Here, let's go into the side,
Oh, no, you're not muted.
Okay.
I'm gonna pause this for a bit, y'all.
Because, yeah, we only cut about every 4th word on that one.